We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. Critical developments are taking place on the battlefield. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia is gaining a new dimension every day, intensifying in strategic areas. This war is on the agenda not only with the battles on the front line, but also with the mysterious operations in the shadow of the war. Today we'll tell you about a striking event that could affect the fate of the war. Ukraine's resistance forces and strategic moves have once again captured the world's attention. The events of the last few days are likely to shake the balance on the ground and directly affect the course of the conflict in the future. In particular, an operation that took place in a certain region caused great repercussions both on the Russian and Ukrainian fronts. According to reports, a Russian commander was neutralized by Ukraine's Kraken team in Zaporizhia. We all know how Ukraine has achieved effective results with its recent military operations, but this time the news coming from the field indicates that the situation is much more critical. In the region, which has become the epicenter of the war, there is an intense struggle between the parties, and this struggle has been brought to the agenda with an event that could change the direction of the war. Russia has suffered an unexpected loss in recent days. It's thought that this situation may have not only military but also political repercussions. On the other hand, Ukraine's operation has once again shown how effective especially strategically important troops can be in the field. This incident not only shook the balances on the ground, but may also open the door to new moves in the coming days. Russia's reaction to this incident and Ukraine's strategic roadmap offer clues about the future of the war. So, what are the details of this operation carried out by Ukraine? What does the first information from the field indicate? And what will be the impact of this event on the war? We'll analyze it together. As we follow the developments, we'll also assess the realities behind the events and the possible consequences. Let's take a look at the developments together. Before we get into our report, though, a quick reminder. The Anka Daily News team is definitely real. None of my teammates or me are artificial intelligence. Even though AI is very advanced, it's still not as good as us. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports. As the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia becomes increasingly complex, the Kyiv government continues to expand its strategic objectives. Most recently, an operation carried out by Ukrainian military intelligence in the southeastern Zaporizhia region has had a significant impact on the course of the war. In this ambush operation at the end of December, the Chief of Staff of Russia's Storm Ossetia Battalion and the Chief of Staff of the Assault Forces of the 429th Motorized Rifle Regiment, Sergei Melnikov, was killed by Ukraine's Kraken Special Forces. The operation is seen as one of Ukraine's moves to create strategic implications for the war on a larger scale. Kyiv's targeting of senior Russian commanders is all the more significant at a time when the Kremlin is making steady progress in eastern Ukraine. Such operations against those coordinating Russia's military operations affect not only the on-the-ground dynamics of the war, but also Russia's overall strategy. In particular, Ukraine's advantage of having a large military force and a combat-ready economy plays an important role in carrying out such targeted operations. According to a statement by the Ukrainian Military Intelligence (GUR), detailed information on when and where Melnikov would be was obtained prior to the operation. The GUR's intelligence enabled the Kraken special forces to plan the operation flawlessly. Melnikov, who was traveling on a strategic highway connecting the cities of Vasilivka and Tokmak, was ambushed by FPV drones. The GUR provided the following information about the details of the attack. The vehicle Melnikov was in was traveling on the highway between the settlements of Vasilivka on the eastern bank of the Dnieper River and the town of Tokmak. The FPV drones used during the ambush have recently become one of Kyiv's most preferred tools due to their cost-effectiveness and operational success rates. According to the GUR, the drone operators managed to scare the driver of the vehicle. The panicked driver suddenly changed the direction of the vehicle and it flew into a ditch. During this confusion, military intelligence officers delivered a fatal blow to the vehicle with a kamikaze drone. As a result of the attack, both Sergei Melnikov and his driver were killed. To document the success of the operation, the GUR has made public the footage from the FPV drone that carried out the attack. These images have once again demonstrated that Ukraine is gradually increasing its technological capabilities in warfare. In particular, low-cost but effective tools such as FPV drones contribute to Ukraine's superiority in its war against Russia. The Ukrainian military intelligence GUR made the following official statement about the attack. On December the 29th, 2024, on the Vasilivka-Tokmak highway, soldiers of the GUR's active operational unit Kraken of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine killed the chief of the staff of the Storm Ossetia Battalion, Sergei Kama Melnikov, and his driver. This statement is critical in demonstrating the effectiveness of Ukraine's intelligence and special forces on the ground. The GUR's targeting of high-ranking Russian military personnel in such operations affects not only Russia's military structure, but also its morale. This striking development in the Zaporizhia region has once again highlighted the intensity of the conflict in the area. However, the intensity of the conflict is not limited to Zaporizhia. The heaviest fighting is also taking place in eastern Ukraine, especially in the bordering Donetsk region. Russia's attempts to take control of the city of Tokmak have led to fierce fighting around the town of Chasiv Yar and the settlement of Pokrovsk. The intensity of the fighting in these areas is of strategic importance for both Ukraine and Russia, especially the border regions of Donetsk stand out as key points that will determine the course of the war. Such operations carried out by Ukraine in the Zaporizhia region are part of the Kyiv administration's strategies to change the course of the war. The use of technological tools such as FPV drones increases the effectiveness of the Ukrainian army on the ground, while deepening Russia's difficulties in the war. Such operations support Ukraine's efforts to gain military superiority while at the same time weakening Russia's balance of power on the ground. This operation in Zaporizhia proves that Ukraine is developing not only defensive but also offensive capabilities in the war. In particular, the elimination of high-level military targets further increases Ukraine's strategic advantage. All these developments offer important clues as to how the balance on the ground will change in the later stages of the war. What do you think? Do you think the destruction of the Russian commander will have a large-scale impact on the front line? How should this impact be interpreted? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your points of view.